And welcome, RCSchim in the hangar. Today we will take a look at the xTool S1. It will be a really quick unboxing and showing you the things that you get with a few minor but very easy assembly steps. Then we take a look at the XZS software that comes with it for free. Some findings and tips like variable engraving speeds from firmware. I built these DIY risers. A lot of cut and engrave jobs. My comparison to the Falcon 2 Pro from Creality, which is the more budget option. And some overall things like how is it in daily use, how good is the positioning working, and how does this curved surface engraving work. And as always in my videos, there are chapter marks and a ton of information in the description below. Let's jump back in time to the curious Schim as he gets the box to unbox this. Quick disclaimer in the beginning of this video. xTool sent this review unit for free, so I will keep this and test this and make a second video as well in like a month or so to give you my long-term experience. I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel because you found a channel that is honest. On your first laser cutter, you might want to keep things like this because this is a good practice sheet. Big manual, a lot of danger marks for a laser. I'm already a fan of their packaging. The Honeycomb, this gives little to no surface for the laser to destroy it, but yeah, you can rest your objects on it. So very high quality, very rigid. That's a monster. But those things are really clever. Another green box, so green is kind of their thing. Test materials. Oh, an xTool toolbox. Very nice. Oh, it's Peng Sheng. That's the exhaust fume hose. Oh. I mean, maybe I'm too excited for such simple stuff. Those are filters. Everything here looks kind of premium. xTool air pump. Power supply. 25 volts, 11 amps, 275 watts. Down proprietary connect USB-C angled to USB-A cable. 40 watt laser. This laser module looks premium. A lot of heatsink activity going on there. Nice, nice. 2 fans. As this sticker implies, you should remove the transport screws. 2 of them on each side. Get this laser sled out. And I feel like the rest is really easy and doesn't need an explanatory video. Just follow the beautiful guide. So we just screwed in place the laser head. This distance sensor is just magnetically attached. Some beautiful engineering. There on the back we have the power switch, power connector, USB-C, USB-A for connecting the key dongle. Without this little USB stick you cannot run the unit. It's a precaution. Further USB-C ports for accessories, Airassist and fire extinguisher. And here we can decide if we just want to have this cover, external filtration, or connect this hose. And I love it for how it works. So I will use this one and let it hang out the window. Okay, let's boot this device up for the first time. Let's see what it does. Okay, we see the red cross. Oh, that's the end stop. That's the end stop, okay. It's not actually hitting the end stop. Interesting. I chose to use their xTool Creative Studio software. And it gives you 2 warnings that you need to install drivers. I clicked this here and then I would just unplug and replug the USB plug. Can I do both at the same time? Yes, I can. There was a window in the back. Okay. That was not 100% straightforward. We'll just see if it works. Yeah, of course they want to sell their designs. But yeah, we'll just go into new project and connect your device. So that's now the time where I unplug and replug it. Please connect the device. Okay. xTool. New firmware is found. Yeah, sure, make an update. Why not? Update succeeded. Confirm. Connect device. I think we're connected. Here you see me preparing the Engrave test, where I can automatically set up a range of Engrave settings and test out what looks the best on your material. They also supply some templates for poplar wood, and you can go from there, from the templates to the next closest to your material of choice. Down here we are pretty burned. You can take a picture and note this to know the settings. I just created a little Excel sheet. If you have materials that are already in the list and you can download more of those materials, like 3mm basswood plywood, you select it there, and then for an object, engrave it. You can just look at this picture and then say, yeah, that's what I want to go for. And you just click it, and then he takes speed and power settings. Ingenious idea of how to do it. If you don't have these materials, I recommend that you run your own test and note this thing. Quick tip on how to get decent Engrave images easy and for free, because there are a lot of websites that want to sell those vector files, but you actually don't need them. Try to maximize the image and then Shift Windows S, just make a screenshot, paste it, and then we get it decent enough resolution. If you want to line engrave it, you can trace the image. Tries to detect the edges and makes vector graphics out of this. And I can also change this from line engraving to surface engraving. Then it looks like the original image. So this thing is set up here now to communicate over Wi-Fi, which is nice because the USB cable is a bit short. The whole setup process is so nice and easy. I sent it over here already. Press this button to start the process. This is engraving with 200 lines to get extra precision. It gets quite close to the edge. Oh, that's laser precision. I love it. Ay, nunca he visto una belleza como la que tienes tú, como una flor en la tierra de color rosa o azul. El negro de tu cabello, como huele tu shampoo. Dat is mooi dat je langzaam over. Ja. Juhu. And this shows you how easy it was to position the second heart right next to the first, as little wasted material as possible. Worked really nice. Quite good settings, I'd say. Happy Mother's Day. Okay, I had this box lying around where the plastic dial was destroyed over time. Nice. Now I designed this on my own because I didn't find good templates. Shut up, children. And now I want to use just this balsa wood, this very thin balsa wood. 7 minutes. Hit start. This button. The engraving starts. Works totally awesome. Cutting it is the best part. Yes. Let's see if this fits in there. Oh, it fits. But it gives this old clock a new life. I felt it easier for me to design that stuff in Lightburn, and things like mirroring, or you just have more options here. But I really miss the marking feature, so if they could come up with the marking in Lightburn in the future, that would be awesome. Currently I rather have to use the GOTO tool, the little GPS icon here, and like move to the corners and see if it works. And here on this little project, those are signs for tomatoes, cucumbers. After the normal fill engrave, I like to use a line engrave on the text to give it some border. I think it looks better this way. I just love to see him cut through this wood so easily. The fan could run like 1 or 2 minutes longer, in my opinion. Because if I open the cover now, I still have some smoke. I really like the result of the engraved and outlined text. What do you think? Clay roof tile? I know what this brush is for. 60% power and 250 millimeters engraving. I would say it worked. I covered up my little mishaps there. Okay, let's cut some 18 millimeter thick wood. Ooh, there's a fire. Goes all the way through at 40 watts of power. Nervous that I don't have a fire extinguisher here. I should have. Cut is nice. In the lower third, the beam is out of focus, and I guess that's why the cutting power isn't sufficient down there. Yeah, I mean it didn't cut through. You need 2 passes with this 22 watt laser. Okay, so that's my dual laser cutter setup. You definitely need a room with a good ventilation. Open window and the hose out of the window is the way to go. Convenience of use. I'm really a big fan of the laser pointer marking method. So in the easiest case you want to engrave something here and then cut it exactly there, not to waste too much material. Then you would go there, button press, there and do a button press. And then you would have this rectangle in the software and place the print object inside this box. So that's how it goes here. On the Creality, you should move it by hand. If you move it by hand, you have to home it once again, or else it wouldn't be able to know where it should go. You have the cam module in the center. The cam module has to be calibrated with a print job and calibrate. Check my old review. And then you can take an image with this camera and place the object. In Lightburn and hit Alt-C, you would see the all-seeing eye. The object there. This is super convenient, don't get me wrong, but it's not really accurate. So maybe 1 or 2 millimeters off in the center, but it's more than 5 millimeters off outside of the center. So that's a nice feature. It's quick and convenient, but if you need accuracy, this doesn't work too well. I put some markings here on the side and also on the front, know where the laser would go, and then I move it and then I see does it hit it or not. That's a bit inconvenient and still not exact, but more exact than the 5 millimeters off. So that's about the placement and the convenience of use. What I do like about the Falcon compared to the S1 though, this is quite a large and square build volume. I will compare the build volume sizes now. This is a bit bigger, but the xTool is wider, like 50 instead of 41, but only 30 high. But yeah, you see it's not as high. You need to get the additional riser, which is also $200 more, with a height of about 8 centimeters that you can use. You can only move this up so much. Yeah, moving it up so much, that's a good point. Focus on engraving stuff. You have to use this little metal part and the thumb screws, which is not easy one-handed, but yeah, like this, and then remove the little metal part. It's a manual job, it works, but it's not nice. On the other hand, you just go somewhere that you want to measure. Then I would just press in the software, measure, measures, goes back to hide the measurement stick. And the probe did its job and it's nearly 19 millimeters. You see it's at a fraction of a millimeter. That's how accurate it is. So this is of course a big advantage of the autofocus system, the xTool S1. Another convenience feature on the Falcon 2 Pro is this metal tray. You can clear it of any debris that you have there. And also there, not Honeycomb, but blade storage system. It's a bit inconvenient to move around, but you have a lot of options and you can remove it if you want to lay an object down all the way on the bottom. Sliding door held up well so far. It may look a bit more DIY. Here you have the more professional and refined look. And you have this honeycomb down there. The only way that you can alter the height a bit is by using it upside down. So the rubber feet, which are like 5 millimeters tall. It's a good coordinate system. You have a ruler on it. You can place objects fine there. Laser unit looks very nice on the xTool, of course. It's all encased. This magnetic held-on focus tool. If you crash on it for some reason, it falls off. Cable situation looks very well protected. Cables back here, this little bulb thing. 1, 2, 3, 4 are the infrared smoke detectors or fire detectors, or not the laser head itself tries to detect fire, but the build room detects fire. I also like the LED in the front and in the back, which illuminates everything quite well. There is an accessory port here for the rotary tool, maybe. Airassist system. I just use it in auto. I trust their settings. And also you can have it in 4 different settings. And it looks just like a design part. And of course, one of the most convenient things about this thing here is you just run it wirelessly, which is so convenient. I cannot state this enough, because here I have my beta desk, but I want to have the laser cutter outside because of the stink. Not having to run a wire to your laptop is very nice. That's the Creality situation here. I have this cheap old USB hub, because I need to connect the USB cam and the laser cutter itself. And this works, but it's still a bit of an inconvenience to have to use USB cables. So these are the PLA riser feet. It makes it possible to use way taller objects, which is a must for me. But it also stinks a lot, because now the fume can go out into the room. Security risks involved. But if you want to go cheap as I did, you can download those 3D printable legs. The rubber, they are just stuck in there, not screwed in, resting on the rubber feet. And then we need to short those 3 screws here to fool the system into thinking the space plate is screwed in and connected. If I want to have different heights here, I just use some material below it. I will do a scissor lift installation here, maybe, so I can move it up and down nicer. Or I would get the riser. Maybe xTool, if you're really nice to me, maybe you want to send me the riser. There's an web page with all the tips regarding the curved surface. For example, it shouldn't be more than 50 degrees of an angle, and a lot of limitations, let's call it. You need to mark 2 vertices, top left, bottom right points. Marks the second one. Since the curvature in the X direction is not too different, but in the Y axis I would have only like 4 columns, but I want to have 10 rows. I think this depends on how much curvature you have. The downside of this measurement is it can only be square. If this square now goes into the abyss here, there's this tip that you want to hold this stick there and give him a false measurement, because we don't even engrave down there. But I don't want this long measurement to fail because of it goes into the out here. Now check out the curvature. It looks pretty good. I think it marks the areas where it is too steep, the yellow one. So we want to avoid this. Now I wish we would see the curved surface. And now I just have one shot, literally, on this beautiful vintage rifle. Speed, we are limited at 30 millimeters per second because of the curvature. In normal mode, you could engrave much faster. But power, it was defaulting at 30%, which feels a bit high. So I go with 20% and 30 and full speed. Let's hit start. He sends it over Wi-Fi. He's ready. I mean, from what I see now, it looks quite deep. I will just go for it now. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. By the way, here you see that he moves up and down as well. That's the reason why it's limited to 30 millimeters per second. One disadvantage of the open build room here with my DIY risers is the smoke level in here, or the stink factor is quite high. So if you use it for longer, just go with the full enclosure. It is $200, but yeah, there's less smoke. And it's done. It looks really dope from here without me even touching it. I mean, the engrave job is really nice. It's just too much power. Yeah, you see it burned into the wood quite deep. I think it would. But yeah, it's the 40 watt laser. It's a lot of power. Still, a very, very good engrave job. And it was my first curved engraving. This is after a bit of cleaning. The details are amazing. So really be careful if you engrave a rare curved object. Broken piece of rifle. Vintage 22 caliber. The whole curve engrave job was a bit more work than anticipated, to be honest. Oh, look at that kind of details that you see there. The same speed settings and also with the same engraver settings. Here the 100 millimeters per second takes double the time of this print, although it has the same speed settings. So even if I use Lightburn as the software in both, xTools decides to go slower on the curves to prevent this from happening. So not necessarily those motors are worse quality than those. Maybe the main board of the laser cutter itself and not Lightburn. It's clever, but it's also kind of cheating. Some of those lines look slower than the others. No complaints with the quality so far. The easy idea is to film this preview here and lay it side by side to what it's in reality. Because the preview handler says 34 seconds and it took double the time. No, it almost took 2 minutes, so 4 times as long as the preview says. And there's something off. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now for a quick recap. What were my findings? Do I suggest to buy this over the Creality? What did I like better? Of course, build quality and functionality of the xTool S1 are state of the art. Now I know why it's the market leader. It's got a higher price tag, but also the features are very thought through. The positioning system. This thing always knows where the laser exactly is, like to the millimeter. So that makes it very easy to position. The smoke detection, build volume if you got the riser, the cover, the fume hose. If you want to use this for your business, I'd definitely go with the more professional version here. And I would go with the 40 watt version now that I have it, and not the 20, because the 40 is fine enough from the details. The engravings look very nice. And you have a lot of raw cutting power. The autofocus system is very nice and convenient and easy to use. And also the software. I'm really a fan of the software. Lightburn, it takes you 1 or 2 hours to get into it and it costs money. Then it's more powerful. For a hobby enthusiast, maybe the Falcon is still worth considering. I want to invite you to go over to my review of the Falcon 2 Pro to find out for yourself if the Creality is worth your money and your time. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.